All right, today we're going to be learning about multiplicity. This is Unit 10, Lesson 3. So the first 2 days we spent time learning about end behavior of a polynomial. Today we're going to be talking about kind of everything in between the end behavior. Well, some things in between the end behavior. Start by doing this warm-up problem. This is kind of like a throwback. The first one is going to look like a line. The second one's going to look like a quadratic. So try and graph these two things. So for the first one, we should recognize that this is just function notation for y equals mx plus b. So when I say y equals mx plus b, I mean my slope in this case is 1 and my y-intercept is 2. So you can consider that we could go like up 2 and then maybe graph my slope of like 1 over 1, 1 over 1, or we could go negative 1 over negative 1. I want you to notice how when I draw this line, I not only have a y-intercept at 2, but I also have an x-intercept at x equals negative 2. So like if I were to treat this y equals x plus 2 polynomial as like having, a 0 at x plus 2, we could consider it like a solution or a 0 or x-intercept at x equals negative 2. Okay, and the second one, this is a quadratic, so there's a couple ways you could approach this. You could have put it into standard form, graph the y-intercept. You could have found the vertex, then use the pattern of change. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to initially graph each of these zeros. So I'm going to graph x plus 1 and x minus 3. I'm going to find where the 0 is, the x-intercept is. And I'm going to start there. So I'm going to graph my x-intercepts at negative 1 and positive 1, 2, 3. And then next, I'm going to find the vertex by foiling. So if I take my polynomial, I distribute, what I'll end up with is y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. Okay, so this is kind of a Unit 6 problem here, graphing quadratics, but really I put this into standard form so I can use either completing the square or x equals negative b over 2a to find my axis of symmetry and my x-coordinate and my vertex. So by doing that, by using x equals negative b over 2a, I plug in my b, which is negative 2. I substitute in my a, which is 1. I end up with 2 over 2 or 1. So my axis of symmetry is x is equal to 1. So I'm going to go graph that. And as I'm graphing it, I realize that that kind of makes sense because that's in between my two x-intercepts. So now really the only thing I need to do is plug in that x equals 1 axis of symmetry and find that y-coordinate of my vertex. So y is equal to 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. If I simplify, I end up finding that y is equal to negative 4. So as I go graph my vertex at 1 comma negative 4, 2, 3, 4, I'm kind of remembering that my a value is 1, so my pattern of change is going to be 1, 3, and 5. So my quadratic is going to look something like this. But I think the point of these two problems is for you guys to see that, hey, I've got two equations in factored form. The first one is in y equals mx plus b, but it's technically factored form too. So we've kind of got these like x-intercepts as a part of my equation. And I want you to notice how in both problems, the line or the curve is kind of going straight through that x-intercept. That's going to help us today when we graph polynomials. All right, so as stated before, we're going to talk about multiplicity of a polynomial. So we've been talking about end behavior. So if you think about a polynomial having a down, left, and upright end behavior, you think about like an XY grid, and like we've been talking about how everything in the middle we don't care about yet. Well, today we're going to talk about like everything in the middle of my polynomial, okay? Specifically the x-intercepts and their multiplicity. Okay, so we're gonna jump to this slide, guys, and I'm just gonna kind of quickly graph my two warm-up problems once more, and I'm gonna do it from the perspective of like an x-intercept, okay? So I graph my x-intercept of -1, because if I set y equals 0, x is gonna equal -1. I graph my y-intercept of 1, and then I can kind of graph my line through those points, okay? For the next one, I'm gonna graph my x-intercepts, one at 1, the other one at -2. Then I can kind of consider that like my, I'm not gonna actually find my, I guess I can find my y-intercept, but I'm not gonna find my vertex. I just kind of quickly wanna graph this sketch. I know this is upward facing, so it's gonna look something like that, guys. But I think what I want you to pay attention to is that both x-intercepts in both of these problems, it is going straight through my graph. Compare that to this third one, where the graph of this quadratic would actually have its vertex at 8, 0. Okay, so we would kind of graph the vertex here. We go right 8 units, just like if we were graphing a transformation, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up and down 0. And then we can kind of think of this as like a transformation, a shift right 8 units. So my quadratic will look like that. And I want you to notice how like this x-intercept of x equals 8, okay, it doesn't go straight through. It kind of like bounces off. And the reason it does that is because of this exponent of 2. It's almost like this x equals 8 x-intercept is happening twice. So it's like not going straight through it. It's hitting it and then going off in the other direction, okay? So kind of check out these three situations. The first two, that x-intercept, the multiplicity of it being like kind of a single or a 1, a first degree x-intercept. For this first one, we actually don't even have a parentheses here, but if we did, it'd be like to the first power. For this second one, we have parentheses that separate, each factor, which means my x-intercept is going to happen once. And notice the behavior there. It's kind of going straight through. And then in this third one, the multiplicity is happening twice, and it kind of bounces. So identifying that exponent next to each individual factor, it kind of tells you what the multiplicity will be. So a multiplicity of a 0 or an x-intercept, it's how many times that 0 shows up in an equation. So in this first example here to the left, I want you to notice how we have like exponents of 1. So all of these, the multiplicity for all of these x-intercept is all like a single, like it's a single time it happens. So single, single, and single, but compare that to this second example here. We have what we're gonna call like a double. So this has like double the multiplicity, whereas this x plus 5 factor has a single. So the exponent should give away, it gives away the multiplicity of the polynomial. So we're gonna quickly graph these. I want to talk quick about just kind of some language we're going to use. So if we consider something a single or a single root, what we mean by that is your graph will go straight through this point. So if we consider my multiplicities as single, okay, we can consider that my graph is going to go straight through that point. So this factor of x equals 2, we can consider the graph of it is just going to go straight through it, okay? Compare that to x plus 8 to the second power. We can consider this a double, and the graph is going to bounce off of that point, just like if we had, a transformation of shift left 8 and bouncing off of that point, okay? Now this last one we're gonna call a triple. So we have x plus 5 to the third power. So the multiplicity we're going to consider as a triple, and the graph of it is going to, I'm going to call this a snake. It's going to snake through kind of like a cubic graph. So if we go left 5 units, we're going to kind of like approach that, but not go straight through it. It's kind of like winding through that point. So these are the three multiplicities we're going to talk about: single, double, and triple. That's where we're going to start today. And we'll expand more on that in future lessons. Okay, so here's your quick check here. It says find the x-intercepts and their multiplicities. Just a reminder, whenever you find the x-intercepts, you want to set each individual factor equal to 0. So I'm setting 0 equal to x plus 8 squared, 0 is equal to x minus 4 to the third, and 0 is equal to x minus 1. And I'm even going to put a first power there, okay? Now, the cool part about exponents is that when we're solving for an x-intercept, we don't really need to like pay attention to the exponent. We can kind of ignore it. So I'm going to rewrite this just as 0 is equal to x plus 8. So if I solve for this x-intercept, I like subtract 8 from both sides, I end up with my first x-intercept at x is equal to negative 8. But it wants me to find the multiplicity. So the multiplicity of this x-intercept, we can consider a double because it had an exponent of 2. And then we could consider the graph would bounce off of this point. With this second factor of x minus 4, if we set 0 equal to x minus 4, once again, we can kind of ignore the exponent. We find that our x-intercept is x is equal to 4. Its multiplicity is a triple, and the graph of which will snake through. We can consider that my x-intercept is going to end up being a positive 1. The multiplicity is a single, and the graph of which will just go straight through, just like a normal line. So this is a good example to check your understanding because it's got a single, a double, and a triple in there. All right, so this will be the last problem we do. I want to pause the notes and I want you to try this one on your own. I want you to find the x-intercept for each individual factor. There's 4 factors here. State their multiplicity, and then as a bonus, describe what it would do on a graph. All right, so hopefully we finish that up. So to find the x-intercept, I'm going to set each individual factor equal to 0. I can't forget those exponents though, so I can't forget my exponent of 2 for x plus 9. I end up finding that this x-intercept is x is equal to 9. Its multiplicity is a double, so that means that my graph of this will bounce off of that point to x equals 9. X equals negative 9, excuse me. The next one, if I add 3 to both sides, I end up finding that my x-intercept is x equals 3. The multiplicity is another double because we have an exponent of 2, and the graph will also bounce. Next one, we'd have an x-intercept of x equals negative 6. Multiplicity is a single, so we are just going to go straight through this graph. And for the last one, I end up finding my x-intercept at x equals 4. The multiplicity is a triple. And then finally, we would snake through this point. All right, hopefully you've enjoyed your lesson on multiplicity. We'll pick more up on the graphs of polynomials tomorrow.